I finished this book and I literally closed my eyes and smiled. I don't think a book's ever done that to me. It wasn't this like polite smile, it was this full, involuntary, eyes closed, something just settled inside me type of smile. And I've never experienced that before. This is What You're Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. And I need to talk about it because I don't think I've ever taken this many notes from a book, and it's literally so comforting, so I need to share it with you. This isn't a book review, it's a love letter to a book that calmed my heart, changed how I think about creativity, and reminded me why I started making things in the first place. So the setup here is simple. This book follows 5 people who are at different stages of their life and who just feel stuck or lost, and not in this spectacular way, but in this more minute, everyday, mundane way where everything looks fine and you're going through life, but something just feels off. One way or another, each of the characters ends up at the community library where they meet Sayuri Komachi, who is this librarian. She sits at a reference desk, kind of towards the back from what I'm picturing, and she's kind of portrayed as this larger-than-life type of character. She's behind the reference desk, felting something, and you come up to her, and she kind of asks you questions, or you just start talking. But there's this one particular one that really sticks with people. What are you looking for? And then based on that conversation, she recommends them books. But not only books based on the things that they were looking for, but also this additional book. And she also gives them one of the felted objects that she made, kind of as a bonus gift. And the funny thing is, they were looking for something else. They ended up getting this book that is not related to anything that they were supposedly looking for. But that book and the felted object that she gives them is really what shifts something inside of the characters. And that's it. That's the whole premise. Mundane, everyday life, people who feel lost, a librarian who really truly listens, and the right book at the right time. It sounds really small, but it's enormous. The stories inside the book themselves are really short. Each chapter is self-contained, so you get to know a full character within that one chapter. And even though those stories are pretty short, you feel like you live in the character's life. You get to know them, what they care about, the people around them, and you feel connected to them. You see yourself in those characters, even some of the ones that you don't think that you'd relate to. Very light spoilers here. In the last chapter, the last story is of a retired man. I think he's around 65, and I didn't really think I would relate to him. He just stopped working, and he's trying to figure out who he is without his job because his whole identity was tied to his output, his productivity, his work. And he doesn't really know how he fits into the world without having a job and a role. And the way he thinks about life is exactly how I think about life. A linear path. You're born, you grow up, you live your life. It's one job after another. You're working this role, maybe looking for a promotion, and then another one. Relationship from relationship until you find your person. So it's always just a straight path. But he gets this idea in the book about walking like a crab. And the whole idea is centered around the fact that when you walk sideways instead of forward, your view broadens and widens. And that image just stayed with me because a lot of us walk forward so hard. We're so focused on the grind and the next goal and the next outcome that we don't really look at what's right beside us, the hobbies, the people, the small but really beautiful things that might just be the point of all of this. This story taught me something that I've been trying to put into words for a really long time. The importance of doing things because they move your heart. Not because they're useful, not because they're productive, not because they lead you somewhere, but because they make you feel something. I started YouTube because I wanted to get better at speaking. That was my useful thing. But what ended up happening was much bigger than that. It allowed me to do more creative things. It pushed me to try new things. It allowed me to connect to people. And the useful thing really wasn't the point. These sideways discoveries really was what was important about this journey. There's so many lessons in this book that I want to carry with me forever. And I'm definitely going to be rereading the many notes that I took throughout this process. But there are 3 of them that really calm that anxious part of me that I want to share with you too. The first one is that you might think that what you're doing is meaningless. It has no impact. But you really never know what's brewing under the surface. It's kind of like if you plant a seed, you're not going to go digging for it and looking at it. You're just going to nurture it and trust that something's happening. Just give it time. This book shows this beautifully because one character's decision to follow her passion of being an editor literally changes another character's life by allowing him to publish his book. Miss Sakitani didn't know that she was going to change Setano's life. She was literally just doing what she loves with care. And the ripple effects of that decision was absolutely enormous. The second is focus on what's in front of you. Your efforts are going to pay off in unexpected ways. In a world where you really don't know what's going to happen, because when have we ever known what's going to happen? The only thing you can focus on and control is right now. This book really made me feel like that was okay. Like, right now is enough. And the third is you are literally one idea and one action away from a whole new life. And not in a hustle culture, grind harder type of way, but in a quieter, softer, what if I just tried this type of way. Every character in this book makes one small change. They sign up for one class. They read one book that they otherwise would not have picked up. They literally just do one thing that scares them, and that completely unravels everything for them. One of my favorite things about this book is how the stories intertwine. Each chapter is its own character with their own lives, and it's all encompassing. But as the book kind of goes on, you start seeing these connections. And it's like there's a small thread that connects people who literally have never met. For example, the retired man that I mentioned earlier, his name is Masao, and his daughter Chi works in a bookstore. She actually creates a display of this book, The Pink Plane Tree, and that book was actually edited and helped to be published by Miss Sakitani, whose story that we read before. So one person's passion project literally ends up on a display shelf because someone else believed in that story. And you feel that. You feel part of this invisible community, this interconnected web between people who have never met and who can't see the full picture, but they still influence each other. And that's exactly how real life works. People are connected in some way. You just don't get to see it because you don't have the full picture and you can't see it from the outside. And I think that's why this book made me smile so much and was so comforting, because it's literally proof that what you do matters, even if you can't see the proof of it for yourself yet. There's this line in the book about the librarian's felted objects, the ones that she keeps working on at the reference desk in the library, and she gives to people as a bonus gift. The idea is that the owner of handmade objects are decided before the object is even made. And I really love this from a creative perspective because It's literally like something that you make with your hands, like a crochet piece, a felted object, bread, anything really, is already on its way to someone who needs it. You just don't know that yet. You don't know who that person could be even, but there's kind of this pull for that object towards the person who really truly needs it. That's how I feel about everything I make and everything that I post in this channel. I don't always know who it's for, but I trust that it's for someone. And the book really says it beautifully. It says that every reader makes their own personal connection to the words. Every reader gains something unique from the book. It's not up to the creator to decide what you will get from it. It's up to the reader. It's up to the viewer. It's up to you. And speaking of making things, the book inspired me so much that I ended up drawing the cover of the book. I just wanted an excuse to stay in the feeling of the book a little bit longer. And while I was drawing, I noticed something. There are Easter eggs all over the cover and the back of the book. There's things like a plane in the sky, like the pink plane tree. There's a world on the side of one of the books. There's what I think is a castella cake next to the cat. And it's just things like that that I wouldn't have noticed unless I had drawn it. And I think that's what's so beautiful about making stuff is it allows you to see things that you otherwise would have missed. It allows you to see things in more detail and in a different way. This book is wholesome and hopeful and comforting in a way that I can't describe besides just warm. Like, it's a warm book. It just fits in the palm of your hand. It's small enough that you can read it in a day or two, but you'll want to hold it for a while after. The lessons in it about focusing on what's in front of you, doing things that move your heart, and also how small efforts and changes can really have a ripple effect on not only you, but the people around you. Those are lessons that truly calmed my heart and soul. And they're lessons that I'm going to revisit and carry with me for the rest of my years. I'm not exaggerating. This really, truly touched me. If you're the kind of person who follows this channel, someone who's tired, someone who's looking for a softer way to exist, or someone who thinks that there might just be something for them if they look sideways for a moment, this book was written for you. It's called What You're Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama. Go find it, and when you're done with it, let me know if story resonates with you. I'll be here. Until next time, bye.